Many local business owners are now opening their doors to customers once again, but there are a lot of new guidelines that they have to follow. Master distiller Jeff Irons joins us tonight. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's certainly a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
For people who may not be familiar with your business, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, I'm a little tiny craft distiller here inside of Low Mill, and I make a bourbon whiskey and I make a whiskey. Those are my two products I make. It's just me and my wife who run the business here locally.
And how many years have you been in operation?
We've been in operation now just right at 5 years.
How has the pandemic affected your business?
Well, we were just happily going along selling every drop of spirits that we could make out the door with nice long lines. We'd have over 100 people in line waiting to buy bottles and stuff like that. And we went from there, nice, reasonable cash flow coming in to absolute zero. The Low Mill shut down because of the pandemic.
How has your operation changed, or what have you had to do differently because of the pandemic?
So I came into Low Mill, was actually able to continue manufacturing during that time, but also, too, I made a little bit of hand sanitizer for some of our first responders in the area, too, which, by the way, the hand sanitizer is the same stuff that I use for sanitizer around the distillery anyway. But, so anyhow, we actually had whiskey that came up that was available, and we bottled it. In fact, for me, it was a huge bottling. It was a whopping about 400 bottles. And what I did with that was I distributed it all to the Alabama ABC. So what you'll do is be seeing my product more in local restaurants and bars here whenever those open up, too. But the other thing I have done is I have moved all of my sales to my website.
What are some of the challenges that you've faced so far in reopening?
Well, the challenges really have been just getting the throughput here at Low Mill. I mean, we have a lot of artists here at the facility, a lot of great art, a lot of great people making art, all sorts of crafts and stuff like that. It's really just kind of starting to pick up the foot traffic. Low Mill is very cautiously opening the doors. You have to always wear face protection when you're on site here. They're kind of counting people coming in the doors and who comes out the door, so they keep a very, very small audience of the general public walking through here. For me, I am basically, first of all, I have a spray bottle of my hand sanitizer on the front desk that anybody can use anytime they want to come by here. I'm very, when people walk into the distillery, if they don't have face covering on, I certainly put my face covering on. If they do have face covering on, I put mine on too, because I think everybody's much more comfortable like that. But other than that, the operations of this distillery, I mean, after all, we are working in the sanitizer business.
Any other information that you'd like to share with us this evening?
By all means, I want everybody to know to support small local businesses. There are a lot of people who are always kind of on the edge, whether it's in the food industry, the beer industry, the spirits industry. There are people who really count on this to make a living, so please go out and support in the way you can. I have been purchasing as many meals as I can curbside to bring home to keep the local restaurants going like they're going. And so I'd encourage everybody else, if you think it's, you're kind of thinking about going out for dinner, well, don't think about it. Just do it. And so and support as many of these people as you possibly can.
Jeff, thank you so much for your time tonight, and we wish you continued success.
Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me.